G'day, I'm Author NZ, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now I wanted to do a little video on prepping. It's a topic that interests me. I've always been into survival situations and being prepared for certain eventualities that may happen. Prepping now has a real following, especially in the US, and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on the topic, and I find it well, it's not funny, but I find it quite strange what certain people are really preparing for, and I wonder whether or not they know what they're preparing for. In as much as the preparation or the stockpiling of firearms and ammunition, food and water, it's really important to be able to look after yourself and look after your family. Here in New Zealand, we don't carry firearms like you do in America. We're just not allowed to. And that's a good thing, because we'd end up with a lot of people shooting each other. Preparing for us is more about looking after ourselves after a natural event. I live in a place where in 1984 or 1986 we had a 6.7 magnitude earthquake here, and that was a big deal. But in reality, it was just, the food fell out of the cupboards and some stuff got broken, and we had a bit of damage, and some industry was prevented from operating. Nobody died. Recently, 2 years ago, we had a pretty big earthquake, a 7 in Christchurch, and 180 odd people did perish there. And I was surprised at the lack of preparation for most people. Every day we have ads on our TV about being prepared and being ready to get through a situation like that, and so many people still don't. I have a certain amount of supplies, food. We have a couple of bags, what you'd call a bug out bag. We have a couple of those set up with some long-term food, canned food, dried stuff, a bit of things for making shelter, rope, tarps, things for making fire, first aid, medical equipment. Not a lot of stuff really, to be honest. We consider that there's not going to be an event like a shit hits the fan or an end of the world as we know it. It's not going to happen, and it's not going to happen here. Short of a meteorite landing on my roof and leaving nothing but a crater in the ground, I'm always going to be able to get back into my house to get what I need. We're not going to be fighting with our government. We don't have aggressive neighbours that are going to try and take us over. We live down here in the bottom of the world, and we do live in paradise, but we do live in a really volatile place. This is part of what's known as the Pacific Ring of Fire, and we do have earthquakes and volcanoes and a lot of flooding. So that's what we get prepared for here. Probably the biggest, the most important factor is preparing, storing water. They say you need 3 litres per person per day, so I've got 80 litres stored, which it'll give me and my family probably about a week's worth of water. And like I say, we've got a bit of food stored. Most people here have got a week, 2 weeks worth of food just in the cupboard in their kitchen. Now if we get to a situation where we can't get back into the house, it's going to be rare. It's not a feasible situation that we need to prepare for. So we don't have our cars kitted out with guns and food and bug out bags and bug out vehicles and bug out locations and things like that. We just don't feel that that's really going to happen here. I think there's a lot of paranoia about it, especially in America. You probably see me playing. I've got a survival bracelet. I've got a few little things that I carry. I have EDC possessions. I've got a bum bag with a water bottle and a knife and a little first aid kit and a little torch. Just a few little items that could make the difference. If I had to walk home, or if my vehicle broke down or something like that. I always like to feel like I'm prepared to survive in a situation like that. But I really don't see the need in going overboard and being paranoid about what might happen. it's just as likely that it's not gonna to be a big shit it's the fan event. There's a few little groups in New Zealand that are going the same way, that are getting ready for something that probably isn't going to happen. Your biggest tool, I think, is your mind, to be prepared, to be alert, to be aware of what's going on around you. Some survival skills, where to find water, how to make a fire, how to provide some shelter. There's an old formula: you can go 3 minutes without air, 3 hours without heat, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food, or something along those lines. If you have a few basic survival skills and you know how to find shelter, water, fire, food, really that's your biggest asset, I think, is what's up here. So that's the Author NZ prepping video, just to let you know how we think about things down here in New Zealand. And it is, like I said earlier, it's a concern that so many people are at a point that they appear to be paranoid, and it really, it's frightening the amount of preparation some people are going to for what I think probably isn't going to happen. Cheers. Thanks for watching Author NZ. Check back with us soon. I hope you enjoy the videos. I hope to put some more up real soon. Thanks. Just to finish this video off, in a way that we do like to show a little bit of humour down here in New Zealand, I think preparation for most New Zealanders is more about making sure there's enough beer in the fridge for the rugby game tonight. So on that note, cheers.